Oh, hi everybody, it's Mikey here from thecrochetcrowd.com. Today's tutorial, we're going to do the Bernat Blanket Big Wheel. Yes, I'm just kind of tucked under my blanket right now, doing a little bit of light reading, and I'm going to show you how to do this pattern next. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the Bernat Blanket Big Wheel, and this is what you see here. This is a generous size Afghan. It's 50 inches by 60 inches, and this is using that really big fat balls that you see here, and this is Bernat Blanket yarn. So in this particular Afghan there are two colors, and you'll need 3 balls of each of the 2 colors. But I almost want to make an assumption here, and this is just an assumption. I think if you wanted 3 colors, you could probably do 2 balls of 3 colors instead of just 2 colors and make it 6 balls. Does that make sense? That makes sense to me. So in today's pattern I'm going to show you the ins and outs. Now I wanted to tell you something a little bit more about this concept right now. Going back about 7 years ago, I decided to make an Afghan very similar to this, and this is before the yarn companies came out with all this big, thick, and bulky yarn. Thick and bulky right now, but lightweight is also in trend right now. But 7 years ago, you know, virtually nobody had it on the market. So about 7 years ago, I made a similar concept to this, and I thickened it up, and I used 5 strands of thick yarn at one time. So it was actually kind of like a chunky yarn, but it wasn't bulky like this. And I decided I was going to do it, and I was going to commit to it, and it actually was 75 yarn balls by the time I was done. But to my disappointment is that because I had done it that way, when I got to the end I realized that the Afghan was so heavy that literally it on top of you felt like you were being smothered. So I love the new yarns of today that you can have the thick and bulkiness that I was trying to get many years ago, but you don't have to have the weight, and I'm sure that this is much warmer than my other Afghan that I had made. So without further ado, what you're going to need today is the following. Let's quickly talk about this pattern. So we need a total of 6 balls complete to make this Afghan. The Afghan is a total measurement of 50 inches by 60 inches. Now the nice thing about it is that Bernat Blanket and Bernat Baby Blanket are the same kinds of yarn, and they're also the same yardage. So if you wanted to do this in a baby blanket and prefer the baby colors of the baby blanket, you can do so. And the Bernat Blanket is more geared toward decor and accenting your home, so that has a very different color line to it. Either way you choose, you can't go wrong. So with this also we're going to need a size N, a 10mm crochet hook. This is a boy, and it has a comfort grip on it, and I picked this up at Michael's as well because I prefer that in a hook. But let me talk a little bit more about the pattern because I want to tell you something before we get started. So when we look at the pattern here, you're going to notice that there's large round circles. You should notice that the round circles do not finish and end at the same spot. So what's going to happen is that we're going to start this. So basically on the other side, you see this darker circle on the other side that it finishes as a half circle. And then this, for example, the white over here is a half circle, and therefore in the bottom on the other side it's actually a full circle. You're not cutting the yarn in between all of the rows. In fact, what you are doing is that you can actually see it in this photograph, is that the yarn is being carried up on the side. So it's just part of the side. It's really kind of hard to tell, and instead of cutting your yarn and weaving in the ends each and every time you do a color, you can just carry it forward, and then that'll save you a lot of time too. So let's get started now. So let's get started. We're going to start off with the slip knot. Now the pattern says to chain 97, so I want you to chain 97. So remember that the first one that you put onto your finger is not 1. Okay, so that doesn't ever start on 1. So we start 1 as soon as we start the first one. So you want to do a total of 97, so you just rowboat back, or so just yarn over and pull through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and go all the way to 97. My sample on screen today is going to be much smaller just to show you, because everything in between the edges are basically the same, and once I show you how to do the middle part you can get that all the way across. So please go all the way to 97. So let's move on to row number 1, and even though my sample is smaller, I'm still following the instructions as stated. So it says to do 1 single crochet, second chain from the hook, so you just count back 1 and go back to the 2, and what I like to do is just turn it over and get the back loop or the back hump of the stitch and just single crochet back there. Okay, once you do that once, it'll turn over that chain, so all of the chain will appear upside down. You'll have a better finishing edge when you go to do that. It says to do 1 single crochet into the next chain. So do that. So here's where we're going to start doing the shell stitches, and let's begin to do that next. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to skip over the next 3 chains. So just count the back loops. So you see 1, 2, 3, and go to the 4th, and you want to put 7 double crochets into that 4th one over there. So the 4th chain, and do 7. So let's count this out together. So 1 double crochet, and 2, we have 3, we have 4, 5, we have 6, and 7. So now that we have our 7 in, we simply just come back to onto the chain and skip over 4. So 1, 2, 3. So let me just make sure I'm looking at the back. So 1, 2, 3, and go to the 4th, and go to the 4th stitch and single crochet into that stitch plus the next 2. So you'll have a total of 3 single crochets right in a row. The first is always, it's always harder to get started, but once you get started it's actually pretty good once you get beyond this point. So you're gonna go all the way down using that same thing. So you're gonna go all the way down, so you're gonna skip the next 3 and double crochet 7 more times into the 4th chain over, and then after you get that, skip the next 3 and then single crochet into the next 3 stitches, just like you've seen over here. So once you get to the other side, this is what you're going to do, is that the other side, see how we started off with 2 single crochets and then a round circle is the next. In the other side, what happens on this is that we're gonna finish halfway into the middle of the outside. So let's show you how to do that next. So if your chain count is correct, what's gonna happen is on the final side you're going to skip over your 3. So skip over the 3. So 1, 2, 3. You should have 1 stitch left, and this one here, instead of putting in 7 double crochets, you're going to only put in 4. You're only doing a half of a circle on the very edge for this particular row. So 1 and 2 3 and 4. Okay, so this is what it should look like at this point. So one side is going to have a bit of a single crochets before the circle, and the other side is going to finish off halfway in a circle. So I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to show you how to do this first of changing the color, but I do not want you to change your yarn. So don't trim it, just leave it on because we're going to carry it, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a sec. When changing colors, you're always going to change colors on the same side. So in order to change a color, which we have to do at this point, is that you need to backtrack 1. So just take this stitch out again. So take out the last one. So every time you get to the final one of the double crochets, you don't want to finish that stitch all together. So you want to double crochet going in, pulling it through and through, and once you have 2 loops on your hook, I need you to grab the first one. So you're just going to create a slip knot first to secure the first time, and you're going to pull that through. So just put the slip knot on and pull it through. So what's gonna happen is next time we come to blue, we're just going to carry it upward instead of actually just cutting the yarn and having to weave in the ends. This is so much better and it's a lot faster too. So let's begin the next row. So let's begin our next row. We're gonna turn around and I'm just only gonna grab the green, and you can secure the green underneath for the first time, so you can actually go right over top of it. Okay, so now that we're ready, we're going to chain 1 and we're gonna put a single crochet into the first 2 double crochets. So just 1 into each, and notice how I have this straggler lying down on top so I can trap it underneath. So I got 1 and then I put a single crochet into the next double crochet. So there should be 2 single crochets on the edge. To begin the next part, we're going to start the underside of the circle of the wheel. So underside, to do that we have to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to collect 7 of the next double crochets that are in a row in order to form that circle. So how we do that is that we just yarn over and we go into the very next one and we pull through and pull through 2 and hold. We don't finish the stitch, and we keep doing this until there's 8 loops on this hook. That's how I keep count easily. So yarning over, going into the next one, pull through 2 and hold. Okay, yarn over, go to the next one, pull through 2 and hold, yarn over, going into the next, pull through 2 and hold. So now I have a total of 5 loops on my hook, but I want a total of 8, so keep on going. Okay, so you can really speed up if you know how to do this stitch. Just take your time, and because it is bulky yarn, it will go really quickly for you as well. So now I think I have 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. What I do for a visual for myself is that I look at the first and I go boom. Okay, there's 4 this way, and then just quickly look, okay, there's 4 this way. So it's just a visual thing. Once you have all 8, you're gonna yarn over and pull through everything. Just like this. So just take your time, pull it through everything that you got, and now we're just simply going to chain 3. So let's begin to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, coming into the very next stitch that's available to you all the way over here, and just single crochet into the next 3 double crochets. So that was 1, 2 and 3. So on the very top that you have the circles, there will always be 3 single crochets by itself, and then the middles will fill in just like this, and you will go all the way. So if you were to continue with your pattern here, you'll chain 3 again and again collect all your stitches in order to do the underside of the circle. So what's gonna happen is when you get to the other side of this particular one, so this is the other side of the edge, here's what you're going to do. Simply chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and you want to collect the next 4 that are available to you. There's only 4 available, and so this is going to complete a half of a circle. So I've just chained my 3, so yarn over, going into the very next one, pull through 2 and hold, and going into the next one, yarn over, pull through 2 and hold, and you will end up with 5 loops on your hook, but in actual fact it's only 4 of these spokes, I guess, in the big wheel. Once you have your 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through everything at the end just like that. And what do we need to do at this point is that we yarn over and then just pull through to finish off. So that gives you the next center circle for the next time that you want to go. So because you're on this part of the pattern, you don't want to trim your yarn at this point, so let's move on to the next part. So let's turn our work, and we're going to complete the top side of this big wheel now. So when we go to start, we're going to start off with a half circle. So how we do this to begin is really easy. So I find that the tops are very easy, and just the ones underneath going around is a little more time consuming, but it looks just as fabulous. To begin, we're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. So 1, 2 and 3, and we want to put in 3 more double crochets into this spot right here, into the center point. The reason for it is that you have 1 here and you have 4 spokes down here. Do not include this as a spoke. So you have 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if you have 1 double crochet already, like represented by the chain 3, you only need 3 double crochets to finish that circle off. So do that. So let's do 3. Just like that. So once you have your 3, this is when you're going to come and work back within the single crochets right here. To do that, just stretch on over and just get to the first single crochet and single crochet right over top of it. So right into the stitch, so it maintains the pattern. And now we're ready for a next circle to go on top. This time, and all the ones remaining across, there'll be full semicircles going all the way over. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, so let's begin to do the top semicircles. So then it's just 7 double crochets right into the center. So let me show you where that is. Sorry, I automatically went in there. So you'll notice that there is a round circle. Do you see the string? It's right in there. Okay, it's like the hub, and so you want to play within this particular spot right there. Okay, and there will be 7 double crochets into that spot. So let's count those together. So we got 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Just like that. Okay, so if you were continuing to go all the way straight across, you would be ending up in the next part of this will be the 3 single crochets right again over top of the ones in below. When you get to the other side, there will only ever be 2 on this side. So you're just gonna stretch on over and just do 1 single crochet in the final 2. Okay, and you can kind of see how it's working out just like so. So on one side we have the semicircle finishing off as a half, and we have our semicircles in the middle, and then the side is in the middle just like this. So let's move on. We're gonna switch back to blue, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Now that I'm back, I want to switch back to my blue. So in order to do so, I have to reverse back out of the single crochet. So I want to show you how to do this as if you're not having to change color, plus if you have to. So if you're gonna insert in and you're going to single crochet within the final 2, you want to just drop it out of the way and grab your blue back up and just use that blue to finish that stitch, and then your blue is then ready to go. So let's start on to the next part. So let's now start this color, and we have to create a half underside semicircle just like we did over here. Okay, so the thing about it, here's how we go to start. We're going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3, like so. And so we want to collect the next 3 together to put it together with this one. So we yarn over and we go into the next stitch and double crochet and pull through 2 and hold, and we want to do that so a total of 3 times, because we need a total of 4 of the spokes that involved in a partial semicircle just like this. So you have the 3 here plus this one, which gives you your 4. You're gonna yarn over and pull through everything just like this. Okay, so that's how you do your edge, and then you chain 3. So you already know how to do this. So 1, 2 and 3, and you come back to the semicircle on the top, and the next 3 stitches to you are going to be are 1 single crochet each. Just like this. Okay, so this, now we're gonna complete a full underside, and you know already how to do this again. So remember, it's chaining a 3. So 1, 2, 3, coming into the next stitch and start collecting them, and you need a total of 8 loops on the hook. So yarning over, pulling it through, pull through 2 and hold. This is when you really can start speeding up, because you can see the pattern materializing right before your eyes. You will continue to collect your stitches until you have 8 loops on your hook, and you will do this every time you on underside going all the way across. So as I mentioned already once before, I kind of just put my finger down and say, okay, I see 4 here and I only see 3 in front of my finger, so I'm just gonna yarn over and do another one, which makes sense. So I need a total of 8 loops. Once you have all 8, you pull through everything just like this, and then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. So if you're continuing along the pattern, you'll end up doing 3 single crochets back down on top of the next green one that you'll run into. But if you're on the very edge, which I'm about to do, there's only 2 left, so you're only gonna go into single crocheting the final 2, and this maintains that pattern of one side being partial like so, and the other side is starting as a partial on this side. Okay, see how it changes, and it will be very obvious in the next time we go around. So let's turn our work and move up to the next row. To turn up and go at the next row, we just simply turn, and we're going to chain 1, and then the first 2 single crochets are each going to get 1 single crochet into it. So now we're on the top side of the wheel, and remember what we have to do when we're on the top sides. We do 7 double crochets right into the center piece right here, and we're gonna count those out together. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is the last one. So once you have your 7 in there, you simply come back down on the top and just stretch on over, and you see the 3 single crochets are next, and you put 1 single crochet into each, and you will do that same concept going all the way across. So the next time you'll just reach on over and do the middle, and you'll do your 7 just like you've seen here. Now on the other side, when you get to the other edge, you only have a partial and you only see 4 in here. So this means that there's only gonna be 4 double crochets right into the top of this side only. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 is your last. So I don't want to finish this one all the way. It's my 4th one. I want to switch back to the green, so I'm just gonna carry the green upward on the side and use the green to finish it and let that blue drop. Okay, so that you can see that it's being pulled up onto the side just like this. In other colors it's not so obvious, so it depends on the color that you wish. You could always just do a border on this if that bothers you as well. So let's move along. I'm gonna show you how to do the green one more time, and you can see now that the circles are really starting to take shape just like so. So let's do the green one more time. We're going to start up and chain 1, and just like we did down here, okay, there's only 2 double crochets here, or sorry, 2 single crochets, and there's only ever 2 on this side. So you always can remember that when you're doing a single crochets on the outside, there will only ever be 2. Okay, there's only 3 when you're in the middle of the afghan. Okay, so you're gonna single crochet for the first 2, and then you're going to start a semicircle that has the bowl shape, so it's the underside. So to do that, remember, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now let's start collecting our stitches. How many loops do you need on your hook? If you said 8, you were right. You get yourself a cookie. So just continue to collect them. So yarning over, insert, pull through 2 and hold, and keep doing that until you get 8. I just keep going until I feel like I have enough, and as you get used to this project, you will actually get that feeling too, and you can speed yourself up with just using the force. So here we go. So you have 8 on there, so yarning over, pulling through all of it. Okay, now let's chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and just like before, we reach over and we single crochet to the next 3, and this is the very top of that blue circle that you see. So 1, 2, and 3, and we're gonna finish off with the partial, and just like you see it's a partial down here, we're gonna finish it with the partial up here. So it's chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and now let's collect our last 4 remaining stitches. 1. How did I know that there was 4? Well, every time you have a semicircle on the edge, there will always be 4. I know that from experience, plus I know it from this pattern. Okay, so you will end up with a total of 5 loops on your hook, yarning over and pulling it through all 5, and then yarning over, pulling it through the final, just to create that center ring just like that. Let's begin to do this again. So let's turn our work and let's go back with the green. So to start up is chaining of 3, 1, 2, 3. This time we're on the overside, so there's 4 that you see down here. This counts as one of them, so that means that we're gonna double crochet 3 times to make it equal. Most people that do a pattern like this, they go all wonky because they don't see the relationship of one side to the other. It's like a mirror, so just picture it like a sunset. Okay, so whatever's happening on the bottom must be on top because this is the reflection. So I have my 4 in there. Just reach on over, 3 single crochets right into the next, or 1 single crochet into the next 3. Okay, so just match exactly what you saw. Okay, we're now in overside, so every time you have a full one, you just have to put 7 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and that's 4, and this is 5, and this is 6, and 7, like so. So you're going to continue to do that, so you'll just have to reach over and do the 3 next single crochets, and this time because we're on an edge there's only ever 2, so then you're just gonna single crochet into the final 2. So remember, do not finish this final one all together. You have to then carry up your blue. So on the final, the last 2 stitches, just pull through the blue and then begin to do the blue next. So just turn your work and then you can just immediately start up the blue. So basically how you see the blue below is basically how you're matching it. So you see that it's a partial, so you're going to start up, and let me just get you started. So it's 1, 2, 3, and you need a total of 4 of these spokes So you're just gonna collect the next 3 to give you your total of 4, like so. And once you collected all those, yarn over and pull through everything like so. And so you're just gonna begin to go across just like you normally would have. And so you're just gonna chain 3 single crochets along the top, do your underside that I've already showed you, and continue that same path going all the way for this particular afghan. So that's it for now. On behalf of the crochetcrowd.com, thank you so much for enjoying this pattern. This is called the Bernat Blanket Big Wheel, and it's an exclusive with Michaels, and I'll provide the information for this pattern in the more information of this video. Until then, we'll see you.